Watching this stupid idiot try to argue with me while trying to beat themselves up as me, beating themselves up for all the mistakes that they made, and then trying to secretly blame me as an intelligent person for their mistake to make themselves feel better, like I'm just as stupid as a monkey as they are. So why ask myself for your help, and why are you trying to forgive yourself through me? Or why are you arguing with yourself over your stupidity through me? And then, if you've already eliminated an intelligent response or an intelligent answer for me or your fucking self, why would you argue with me to prove that I'm as stupid as you are when all you can really find is your fucking mistake that you tried to put on me for making yourself feel better? Your fucking self-esteem issue that you couldn't even fucking admit. I don't know why anyone would do this. I don't even know why you would blame other good people or other intelligent people, or why you try to get me and them to victimize each other to make it feel even better, like you had to watch other stupid people. But I guess it's just that difficult to accept your own stupidity, or the fact that you eliminated any possible answer of accepting any blame for yourself, that even if we did do something intelligent, you wouldn't be the one to blame for because you eliminated a fucking intelligent answer for yourself. It's so crazy to know that you were literally trying to fight yourself through all of us because you think we're better people, or you were arguing with us because you think we're lesser people because you wanted to deem yourself better or more intelligent than us. And that's how you chose to do it. And you sat there and kept fighting some pseudo fucking part of your fucking life and mine and someone else, to the point where what you broke down about was actually us and all the other better people that you think qualify for intelligence or whatever makes us better. And yeah, it just shows through your poor self-esteem, and all the basic things that they said to you are probably true before you got to this weird ass argument. And then that's all. I can't believe that some people are that fucking simple and would argue for months with you in your brain about something like that. Their poor self-esteem. And even when I think about it, I'm sitting there and I already know this, but when I actually put it into words and review it, it's amazing to know that, like, it really goes down to, like, you started out this, and then you can, like, actually work it out that, like, you made some kind of dumb, embarrassing mistake, tried to put it on an intelligent person to simulate it to yourself about how it wasn't really that dumb, but it was just as dumb as your actual mistake and why you were embarrassed. To the point where even when you simulated it, you had to be angry at the person for a mistake that you made, or forced them to make, or tried to make them make, in order to make yourself feel better about your poor self-esteem. And even that in return only echoed the fact that you were only hurting yourself and trying to forget it and misplace your hate on someone else. And it's the most greedy piece of life shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And you spam the whole fucking world with it. And the more we like lie to ourselves and try to idolize different things in life, all we can remember is that kind of weird shit about some people. And it's weird because, like, even blaming famous people just isn't gonna work for you. So I don't know why you would need to find some quiet, intelligent person who's a trippy little unique artist that no one really talks about but seems to know about. But it's just weird because even behind the whole industry, I wouldn't need to indulge how crazy or stupid you are in order to survive my own fucking career. Like, that's just weird. But I take the indulgence because I'm like, if you really thought I was that intelligent, then why can't you see the basic part of why you would even have to perceive my intelligence in the first place to understand what the fuck you even think that was supposed to deem an amount for you, or a quantity of intelligence for you to feel 1 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 or about your self-esteem, or about whatever the fuck it is that you were so insecure about that you needed to make sure that the other better man was stuck with that bullshit. They're like one of them dudes that just like wants to like be a hoe so bad that your hoe was a hoe and you discovered it, so you had to be a hoe for a moment to understand. And then when you finally did, you came to terms that I would be a hoe too if I accepted that logic. And since you can't do it because you just can't do it, you finally realize that your hoe is you, because that's the only bitch you're ever gonna love, because you're kind of a whore too, but you just have to accept that because there's no way to be a better you or find anybody good enough for you to be that type of a man. So you have to accept being a whore too. And it's just kind of fucking sad that that's as intelligent as she can be, and as intelligent as the guy can be. So Wow, all that for self-esteem. And the only thing that was really strong about any of that, or not really, but like strong about that, was that the ability or the nerve to ignore such a giant stigma, personal stigma to their own life and personality and their own threshold to what reality is, to commit to just such brutality themselves as to only live their only mistake and echo everything about it, but still consider themselves completely different from their own mistake. It's fucking disgusting, and I wish I could put it in better terms and be more specific, but I like it to leave it this way so that it can all be definitively understood for other people who run across these type of psychologicals in life. And I don't even know why Hypnox has to comment on it. It's just kind of like the root of all these problems wasn't even that you were a whore, or that he was a male chauvinist pig, or that they were both just as fucking disgusting, or that even Hypnox had to act like a male chauvinist pig in order to draw this bullshit out of you. So it's weird because I'm not even a two-faced person, but even the example should be so fruitfully indulgent and free that you're able to marinate on the luxury or the individuals that you are to such a supreme state of life and the fifth element of true love and strength and pride, or whatever the fuck we are as a species, race, or thing, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I found a lot of weird shit that I can't even blame Freud for, and I fucking wish I could just blame Freud and get the fuck out of here. But I can't even blame anybody. You're just so fucking particularly complicated that intelligence may not be able to describe it because it's so fucking disgusting, or so fucking strongly, uniquely a brand of your evil ass, disgusting types bullshit that I can't really like label it. And the thing is, they're calling it like, you know, pride and self-esteem, or whatever the fuck the arrogance is that covers up why the hell you would ever want to blame me and try to reflect on somebody who you might think is better than you. And it's sad because then when I look back on it, you reflected on me because, oh wow, to break your own fucking heart or something? What is this? And then I look at all these little like facades and shit. I'm gonna say facades and I'll explain it later for a different reason, because it's like, how the fuck did you come up with these little like pseudo facades for yourself in such a way that I just can't fucking help you? And it's sad too, because I would have loved to help them out, mind, body, and soul, and all that, because I give my own self, like, you know, very magical, artistic, relaxing therapy. But what it boils down to is that some people can actually be so crazy as to convince themselves of their own problems on you and not even realize what they're doing, like reflecting in bad taste with something they could not live with. And then they put on you. It's just it's so simple that even when I let them go forever and indulge in it and let them get all complicated and avoid the actual fact and let them be arrogant and even sometimes try to live in a little bit of their arrogance to see if I can tolerate it, as a sweet, intelligent person, it's not like I have to change them or be stronger or better than them, but like actually tolerate it a little bit and see if like it can lead to something better in life, or a way of like uniquely supporting them and maybe they'll find a use or a niche that I can help them overcome this. Like, you know, like if you ever look at like professional wrestling and shit on TV, it's kind of like somebody really had to go out there. And I'm not making fun of them. I like wrestling. It's not bad. It's not like lower than this intelligence. I'm actually happy for it. Trust me, wrestling seems intelligent because they can actually work all this bullshit out. These other people can have to take themselves so serious that their sicko egos are bigger than what they actually know to be their fucking problem. So they'll never be able to heal from it. They're like immortally ill from their own shred of humanity, trying to scrape together the rags and riches of what will never be anything but piss poor logic towards how they reflect on the world. And I'm like, of course you can't climb around the world and use everything and be an artist and get your hands dirty. You're too broken. You're too frail to see that like the stain of your grail will never get you past who you are, a holy man, a big giant gaping hole in your fucking heart. Like, if you didn't reflect on any of that in a better way, or anything, you couldn't find anything in any of the three big subjects that are all in a beautiful argument. It's an actually ugly argument, but like all of them are in an argument too, and I can find some solace in all of them, and I just can't understand how simple some creatures can be and still can't reflect back to like, you know, that's you, right? That's not us. Or you, just so you know, you crazy bitch. And I'm not even talking about just women. I'm talking about like, yes, you too, sir. You fucking crazy. And it's like, it's just weird because like, sometimes it's like escapism and they fucking know it. Or it's just like some kind of a sicko complex where you're willing to do this to yourself and everyone else until you get what you want from your self-esteem that doesn't exist. Like, I'm talking about like, and I don't even like saying this because I'm not arrogant too, but if you consider me that smart enough to reflect on about your fucking ego not being as good as what I don't consider an ego, because I don't really have one, I'm not really that arrogant, and if I had to put one on, it would be to kill you, and you know, it just would be like, well, this is the end of your ego, because I'd rather self-destruct than take you where you want to go with my ego, so I ended it, you know what I mean? I'm not infinity, I'm not even a complex for you. I'm not even a facade for your little bullshit. So even when you try to do that, I'm just kind of like, your penis is bigger than mine, but metaphorically speaking, what is that? You know what I mean? How do I fuck you right, you know? And it's like, of course I didn't even feel like fucking in the first place, but let alone your attitude on things and then letting you become your portrait before you try to fuck me is some kind of weird thing that women used to do. And I realized something. I can't even get out of that with you. That's how arrogant that both of you are. And I just started to realize, man, I will never find love or true anything. So I gave up on that a long time ago. But psychologically, why you considered me intelligent? Oh, for that, I tried to help. But then I realized your reflections are all in poor taste. So why I echoed that again into a small affinity and then bring it back out to the main point again is that I didn't want you to forget while you were indulging in your ego again, that I just wanted to remind you that you're forgetting that this isn't me. This is your portrait of what I had to carry for you to remember. And I didn't act out of sorts. I didn't act any different for myself. I didn't betray myself. It's just one of those things where like you try to make me wear it and I couldn't really explain it to you through the journey of life like I'm supposed to. And even when I still did, you wouldn't allow the answer to be what you succumb to. And I wasn't even looking for a psychological break. I was very gentle. I'm always very gentle about those things because I've been through psychological breaks that I had to overcome too, but it was a lot pettier and different, but it hurt me enough to not be a perfect person or something psychologically. So I learned to balance myself any way that I could. But understanding that, I tried to be easy on other people, but then I realized something. This person really is that sicko. It's like you expect the digital reality to be something seemingly real. Like you can just Google anything and SoundCloud anything, and then you think that the world sooner or later has to accept a part of what your bullshit is or your sicko shit is or whatever the fuck. And I just don't know. So even I made enough cute garbage, and you know, I gave you a little Velma puppet, and you know it's weird too, I've given them a lot of little like puppets to play with and see if they can find something in themselves that could just keep them happy and nurse themselves through this sanity that we call this three-dimensional ride of Earth or the world or whatever is so complex beyond it. But I don't know, they just can't seem to do anything but find their own pain and how to cover it up and paint over it and then try to reflect on their own mask. And if anyone else wears a mask that's you know, nicer or prettier or anything, if they can't reflect with that mask, they start to try to torture that person through themselves or other people in order to live with the fact. That's why I don't even believe in Sados and BSDM anymore, because it got to a certain point where like, you're not really abusing anything about yourself. You're actually probably so mad at the world that you consider it, that you're so egotistical that it might not be you. Well, there's so many different forms of sickos out there. And even when you break some of the world's final, you know, vaults to things and final peasels to things in life and their sanctimony, I still feel bad because it's like, how much farther do you have to go to realize what the fuck you're doing? Or are you really just that sick? And that's when I started to begin to understand that, like, in my personal opinion, and I don't mean this greatly to a world sacrifice, some people just gotta go. Like, you know, you gotta go. I don't care if you die on the shitter type of crap. Like, just die or like go figure something else out, because you're not good for the world. Like, even when you're like a great artist and no one knows it, and like a spiritual, you know, thing on the underground, and like as much as you support and people come to you for advice and a bunch of shit, you start to realize violence is the answer for you, because you can't live with what you made of yourself and you can't cope with your reflection in society. So your mask needs to be bigger than anything and everything in life. So you choose to bully great people or other beautiful reflections in life because you can't do anything but live that empty, vague, limp dick of a fucking brain life that you have for nothing. Not even a facade can do it for you. And I say that a lot because I have to indulge in dealing with the characteristics of, well, my opposite. And I don't even want to call it enemy because I'm not competitive at all. And I've dealt with a lot of competitive people, and I'm kind of like a dead end to that. It's just kind of like, oh, you couldn't compete with yourself, so you took the second best guy who didn't care about first place and tried to trash him, and then you ended up learning everything you needed to do to get first place, and you still sucked next year. And it's weird because people want to get mad more at me than the first placeman. But you know what my job was? I didn't care about first place. So I just protected him because I didn't want to see him lose. Never fuck with my type because I don't have anything to give a shit about either. So when I can see you dead on for everything that you are, I could literally just smuggle you out of life and not give a shit about it. Yeah, no one would even notice how fast I eat because it's like you succumb to what the fuck you are from ever trying to think about me. So I don't do anything but play perfect tactics. So let's get back to the truth of the matter. I didn't actually care about what I told you. I told you this in anger because when it ends, all you had to realize is that you wasted everyone's time, as it was your fucking fault for who you are and what you were reflecting. And then even getting your ass whooped doesn't help anybody. It's not like I want to feel better about what was done to you. Just end it or become a better person. But you refused to do that too. So we moved on, and then as they were, you don't need to talk to any metaphors in any of my fucking life because you won't ever understand any of the mess that I use against anyone, so there's no reason for a psychological battle. It's almost like you understood my whole play kit, so move on. You're better than Freud. Get the fuck out. You know what I mean? It's like time to go. You've read everything. And if you don't like the Brutus anthology, then you're done with me. That's the stupidest thing that I have. You like Brutus? Oh, well. You like the Executioner? Oh, well. You like the Butcher Shop? Oh, well. You know, and it's like, oh, zombies too? Okay. And it's like, we went through this, and it's like, artistically, there was nothing to reverent about what you brought to the table, so deleted, or I delete them. And the reason a lot of people don't like me is like, well, sorry that if your mask didn't live up to my performance, then maybe I didn't know you a mask, but I gave you one to make you feel better. And if you couldn't live up to that mask, then I had nothing to offer you. So you better wear one because you dead in the water with me. And by the end of it, skills ain't going to count for shit if I'm just keep banging heads out and they keep finding out why they all taste like delicious lemons. And I could serve you to my friends, but I don't. I don't need this shit to cope, man. I just don't. So by the end of it, what it is what it is. Enjoy your times with Hypnox. Because by the other way, I just wanted you to be happy and comfortable and shit. I don't even offer any fucking mistakes. There's not one thing I can say, and they were like, I did that because I purposely wanted something for myself. I'm not even that fucking selfish. I mean, there is nothing there. So every single time that you do weird shit like this, I literally know what filing cabinet to throw you in, and I know exactly what type of psychological to give you. And I just feel bad for you because most of the time I mute that shit, and the other people that have to go crazy trying to prove that I'm a monster are the same people that I won't allow to put me in those positions to fight for them. It's difficult to fight for them or avenge for them either on a psychological level, because it's like, you wanted me to display a form of arrogance that I don't even own in my own entitlement. I don't believe any of this shit. To me, it's trash too, and all we were trying to do is become better people, or get rid of it, get it off my back. Why is it in my eye? Why is it in my back? Why is it trying to suck my toes? What the fuck is that? I'm not even gay. What's wrong with you? I don't believe in kingsmanship. And why would it be kings over God, right? Or gods over king and religion? Why not preclude what it was formerly to have a whole united understanding? So by the end of it, you were a psycho and we threw you away. Or the digital age gives way to the hope and meaning that there was nothing there for you, or you just kept creating the hope for something that would only reflect what you had left there. And it's sad because in the digital age, anyone can do that, and they deserve to live for it. So it's funny because it's not like I have to figure out or cope with why you Googled it so it exists, or you Googled it because you found out what you were and that there was only 2 votes, and you can live with that and I can live with that. But when it's just something so predatorial that they'll never actually understand what it is, maybe you should delete that mask so that they can go live. Right? So hopefully you'll realize at one point what the hell you really are. And try not to think about my humanity too much, because even under this mask, I try not to show it very much, because I'm starting to realize you need more help than what a human can give you. So I gave you that. So if I failed, I don't know who's coming after me, but I hope you'll be able to live with your real requiem for a reality. Yeah. Duality? Digitality? No. Right. Yeah, kind of nothing. Or you can't even hide behind any other philosophies. And it's weird too, because like all the other few philosophies that I saw you hiding behind, as soon as I destroyed those philosophies, I started to realize like when you have nowhere to hide, you're still kind of just that disgusting as to stay in those philosophies, even though they've been warped and conceited to what their real meaning is, and you still provided a facade meaning for yourself to live under those things. So it's weird, but eventually when you hit those filing cabinets too, and you realize that the philosophical meaning has come to a very strong adherent point and that you can't manipulate it anymore. I don't know what you're going to metamorphosis into, but it will not be me and you and your more facade. Right? You get it? Morphing into a different facade all the time. I just don't need it. And it's disgusting to watch. But anyways, that's a part of what that is. And mostly Hypnosis trips are supposed to be more fun than that. But man, do I find some weird sicko shit sometimes. And it's weird because I don't even want to tell you how I'm some kind of a psychic detective, but I just can't believe this shit. And sometimes I just explained it to you in a great deal, but it's just kind of sad to know that like how smart someone can be to figure all this chess move bullshit out psychologically about any of you and be always stuck with the fact that you're crazy. And it's weird too, because I used to have a session like no one's really crazy, no one's really retarded, no one's really mentally disabled, and then all you encounter are these things, and the people that you can forgive are actually like, you know, physically handicapped or disabled or have something like physically wrong or enabled or something. There's just something wrong, even chemically. But then there's people that I'm like, oh my God, you really are like in this game to win, and it's not even your life, and it's like the game must win or you don't consider it life. And that I guess you're digital or you're fake. You're fake. You're fake like Hypnosis. You're as fake as Hypnosis. Go away. But it's also weird as I think about it more. I'm like, I literally watched you do it, and it's weird. I want to say it. I watched them triply do it. I watched them in third person do it. Like, it's ridiculous because I started to realize I watched you do that. I watched you argue for you, yourself, and the other person in a realm of why you're angry, why you need to be angry, why you don't care about why you're angry or the reflective reason of why you're angry, and why even with the other person you're arguing with almost chooses the same thing to do, but you just need someone to blame in the argument, and you chose an intelligent person. And then I realized, oh wow, you just need the person to be intelligent, and it could be that simple, or it's as disgusting as what I know it to be. But I started to realize something. If that's the case, I could do this shit by my fucking self, by pretending to be two lesser people arguing. Now, I make it to sound simple so that you can understand this very clearly, but when it gets back to the fucking point, you can't blame me for being Brutus while you're literally lashing out on me for what the lesser person did while arguing with you, and then the other person is me. I can't do that. I might as well do the job by myself. And then whose side are you on if you're not on my side just for you thinking that I'm intelligent? So then I get stuck with the fact that, like, for only $19.95, this 2 DVD box set audio can solve all the problems in your life. Now, even if I couldn't fix the problem, and what your problem is that you like to argue and you don't like to stop arguing. So I realized for only $19.95, this 4-disc set, box set, could be yours for a bonus now. If you order in the next 5 minutes with this digital phone number, 4445. Wait, how about 7778? Or how about 6668? Or how about 7775? Now, for these easy payments of $19.95 every month, you can sit there and go through the tape of sanity forever while they argue. And that's it. Because if you can't fix it, you gotta leave it broken. And you gotta leave it the way the fuck you found it. Because, you know, I've been left with a lot of quotes. Some of them are American. Some of them are hardcore American quotes. And I realized you leave it as you found it. So I started immediately going back to their fucking argument and imitating them in the fucking argument. And then I slowly nudged my way out and let them go. And they kept arguing like a videotape. I'd be like, if I could sell this shit for $19.95, I'd be a rich man. I'd be a rich fucking man, son. I'd be rich. And I'm like sitting there like, it really is the fact that they needed to go back to the argument. But all that because they wouldn't psychologically break down and just admit that they were fucking wrong or, make themselves better people. Like put it this way. Because I don't need to admit anything because I really didn't do anything. But I look at it in my life and I was like, this person was better. Like, this is some childish shit. The person was better than me at video games. I refused to get better at video games. I kept fighting him, expecting myself to win, but I didn't win, and he kept beating my ass at video games. And then finally one day, I started getting good at video games and changing how I operated and played video games, and I got better. And then I went and I challenged him, and I got better as a person, and I beat him. I started to realize I had to work on that. I had to become a better person. I had to become a better video game player or some shit. All right? And as much as that hurts me, and I'm not talking about just this video game, because it was something else, but it was so childish that I can't even compare it to these people's argument. It's so infantile in its own way that it's like, well, yeah, duh, all kids go through that, and then they go and do some other stuff as an adult. Duh. So I don't have that many moments to compare this to, but rationalizing this was the only way. So I said, okay, well, you're going to have to change as a person, but you refuse to do that, so you continue to argue. So I compare that as like, okay, so let's say video games are insanity, like they try to proclaim that shit to be. You know how people really hate video games sometimes, especially some hot chicks. Like, some hot chicks will be like, oh my God, this guy's so cool, unique, and all this stuff. Then they find out I play video games, they're like, oh God, he does something kind of childish. Like, I play some video games, bro. Grown-ass man play video games. And then after a while, I'll be like, I must be single forever. I hate these bitches. Wouldn't even let me play my video game. Fuck you whore. And then want to talk about PS5 and fucking all that bullshit. You need to stop that kind of me bitch assholes. And you don't want me anyways. I'd be like sitting there like, it was a good 5 minutes, wasn't it? Now we're going to play Xbox for like 4 hours. We're going to play PS5 for like 10 hours. That's how that's going to go. And then they start staring down the barrel of their new life, and they're like, no, I was in this for sex only. Right. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, you're a whore or you're a hoe. And that's how that goes. And I'm not mad at you. You just need to accept that. You need to accept yourself for who you are and go enjoy your life before trying to fuck up my life because I seemed happy. Or like I had to go be confused for 5 minutes so that you realize that you're not a complete whore because you're not supposed to be unhappy with your life, but you questioned it. So he had to question it too because that's not your only friend left over who's just like, pushing some buttons on a machine or something. But anyways, by the end of it, I don't need that facade to survive, so I'm giving that one back to you, homegirl, or whatever the fuck. But anyways, let's get back to the formalizing point. For only $19.95, you could be free and just some, you mother... how... But if you... Then why the fuck... So you did... So why would you tell me that? So for 4 hours, I don't owe you. But I don't owe you. For only $19.95. Bruh, I'm only an artist. What the fuck do you actually expect me to do? Etc. Right.
Winning like that, moving like that, hitting like that. The melody is fat. Yo, I'm on the energy source, the cosmic force with prodigy, dipping astrology. My intellect's the